Hi everyone and welcome. In this video we are going to cover that how you can log your Modbus TCP IP device data to the SQLite database using JavaScript. Okay, in the previous video we have covered that how you can log your Modbus TCP IP device data into the CSV file using JavaScript, and it will create CSV file on the daily basis, and it will store the CSV file in particular hierarchy like year, month, and the device file. Now instead of CSV data logging, we are going to cover the SQLite data logging using JavaScript. Now if you are interested in this project, then you can click here, okay, and it will be navigated to our Buy Me Coffee shop, and from here you can purchase this project. And today only I have updated this project, so you are going to receive the latest update of this project. Now let's see the demo of this project. So first of all, here is in the folder, you can see I have Modbus TCP to SQLite data logger using JavaScript, and here is the project file. Now the node modules is basically libraries, okay, required for this project. Config.json is the config file which we are going to modify based on our requirement. Index.js is the main file which is going to perform the data logging operation, and readme file is the file to understand the project. Now let me open this entire folder into the VS Code, and here you can see the config file. So in the config file, here is the SQLite section. So this is our database name for the SQLite. This is the table name, so you can modify this as per your requirement. And here is the Modbus device details. Okay, and here is the logging interval, at what interval you want to log your data into the SQLite database. This interval is in milliseconds, so 5000 millisecond means it will log the data at every 5 seconds into our SQLite database. Now let's talk about the devices. So here we have our first device, device 1. Okay, here you have to provide the IP address of your Modbus device, TCP port number, slave ID, and the timeout for connection. Then after, here is the register detail for this device which we want to log into the SQLite database. So here you can see the first type is holding register. Okay, now the start address is 0, quantity we want to read is 5, and here I have provided the tag name. You can change the tag name as per your requirement, as per your application. Okay, it's a pressure, flow, temperature, anything. Then after, we want to log to input register. Okay, so that's why here is the block for the input register. Then after, here is the block for the coils, and here is the block for the discrete input. Now you can enable disable the block using this enable flag. If this enable flag is true, then it will log the data into the database, and if this flag is false, then this block will be not logged into the SQLite database and tables. Okay, so I hope that's clear. And here is the readme file. Okay, and here we have the most of the detail about this project. Now let's minimize this and let's open the terminal here. Now here I'm going to run npm install. Let me press Ctrl C, cls npm install. Now once you run this command, it will install the necessary packages in your system, and that packages you can see here in the node modules folder. Now then after, we are going to run node index.js, which is our main JavaScript file to log the data into the SQLite database. But before that, first we will simulate our Modbus TCP device using Modbus slave software. So I will open the holding register simulator and input register simulator. Okay, and here we will go to connection, connect, and we are going to create our Modbus TCP IP simulated device running on IP address 127.0.0.1 and the port number 502. So this is what we have mentioned in our config.json file. Here you can see device name, IP address, port number, and the slave ID. Okay, so based on your Modbus TCP device, you have to update your config file. Now I'll press OK, and here you can see our Modbus TCP device is ready with holding register and input register. Now we can read this data and we can log to our SQLite database. Now once you run this project, your database will be created in this folder. You can update this project to create your database into the particular folder, but for the demo purpose it will be created in this folder. So what I'll do is I will use node index.js to run the script. Now once you run it, you can see connected to SQLite database, it will create the SQLite database. It will create the table inside the SQLite database and it will connect with our Modbus device. Okay, everything is done. Here you can see database is created. Now we will open this database and here you can see Modbus_data table is created. And here you can see in the Modbus_data table we have our data. Now you can refresh and here you can see the count of row 35 rows. Okay, 42 rows. So our data will be logged at interval of 5 seconds. Now you can see 21 minus 5 16, 16 minus 5 11. So at every 5 seconds it will log our data. Now IR 0. Now here you can see at every 5 seconds it will log the data to the database. Now we will stop this process. Okay, and what we will do is we will enable the Coil data logging, that what is the status of Coil at every 5 seconds. So I'm going to enable, I will enable this block. Okay, true, and that's it. Okay, so we have enabled this block, which is Coil's block, to start logging the Coil status data into the SQLite database. Now what we have to do is in our Modbus slave, we have to include the Coil simulator as well. So I will create new file and I'll set up the new file as Coil status. Okay, and then we will go to connection, we will click on connect and we will create our Modbus TCP IP simulator. Now here you can see we have our holding register which is simulating, we have our input register simulating, and here we have our Coil status, and we can simulate or we can keep it on. Okay, and that's it. So we are logging the 4 Coil status to the SQLite database 0 1 2 3. Okay, so 0 1 2 3 we are logging this 4 Coil status to the SQLite database. So we have keep 3 Coil on and 1 Coil off. Now that's it, we have set up everything. We will go back to our command prompt and we will run node index.js. Okay, node index.js, and here you can see connected to SQLite database, connected to Modbus device, and Modbus data table is already there. Now here in the folder you can see Modbus data.db, so SQLite database is there, and here we have our Modbus data table. Now we will filter this table with the C0 for the Coil, so filter C0. Now here you can see, okay, every 5 seconds it is logging the data. Few of the logs are from previous testing. Okay, so don't consider those logs because video was stopped in the middle, so that's why I have to re-record this. So here you can see at every 5 seconds we will have the data logging. Now you can see 31 plus 5 36 minus 5 minus 5 minus 5. Okay, now what we will do is we will stop first Coil and we will check the logs. See, Coil is off. So if we have the register value 0, it means it's off. Okay, and if we have register value 1, it means the Coil is on. And for the holding register and the input register, we will have the actual integer values here. Okay, so I hope this is clear that how you can use this JavaScript to log your Modbus TCP IP device data to the SQLite database. Now in this project, all you have to do is you have to create your config.json and it will start logging your data into the SQLite database. Now suppose if you have multiple Coil blocks which you want to log, or multiple input register block or holding register block, then also it's possible. You just have to add one more block for the holding register with your start address and the quantity, and you have to provide the tag name for that block, and that's it. You can stop the project, you can start the project, and it will start logging the data for those holding register as well. And you can enable disable that block using this enable flag. So I hope that's clear, and if you still have any question or any confusion, then you can always ping me on Telegram, Instagram, WhatsApp, anywhere. And as you know, the project is available on our Buy Me Coffee shop. You can click here, you can navigate to our Buy Me Coffee shop, and you can support us and you can get this project. Now let's meet in the future videos. In the future we have so many things pending for Modbus and JavaScript, so maybe we are going to cover any one thing in that video. And yeah, that's all about this video. So let's meet in the future video. Till then, take care. Okay, now here you can see database is locked. Why? Because if you remember, then I have click somewhere, okay, and this is how it was used somewhere. So I forget to write the changes in the database. So if I don't want to do it, then I have to revert the changes. I have to press yes, and that's it. Now here you can see, you won't see the error now, okay, because database was locked. That's why you will see this error, because this JavaScript is not able to write the data into the database because we have modified something in the database and we haven't executed that thing. So that's why. So if you see this kind of error, it means you have modified something on your SQLite database and you are doing something and you are not writing it to the database. That's why. So I hope that's clear to you. Now let's meet in the future video. Till then, take care, goodbye, and thank you.